We're now joined by Nick Saban, head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Coach Saban, I'd like to start by asking you to give a brief opening remark about playing in this year's CFP semifinal at the Rose Bowl game.
Well, we're very excited about being able to play in the college football playoff. Very excited about playing in the Rose Bowl. My experience in the Big Ten is we always refer to it as the granddaddy of them all. And we played there in 2009, and it was a wonderful experience. A lot of great people and first-class organization in every way. So our team is very excited about having the opportunity to play the number one team in the country in the University of Michigan. They've had a very, very successful season, Big Ten champs. I'd like to congratulate them on that. And we're going to look forward to, the challenge that we have ahead in terms of what we have to do to prepare and be the best that we can be to play against the number one team in the country.
Thank you, Coach. We'll now open up the teleconference for questions. As a reminder, please raise your hand to ask a question using the raise hand icon within Zoom. If and when your question is selected, we will unmute your microphone. Please state your name and media outlet before asking your question. Once your question has been answered, your microphone will be muted and your hand will be lowered. Our first question comes from Mike Rodak.
Mike Rodak with 247 Sports. The finalists for the Heisman Trophy will be announced tomorrow, and obviously Jalen is in that mix. Just what would you say about his candidacy and his performance this season?
Well, Jalen's done a fantastic job for us. His transition and improvement as a player has certainly been a huge factor on the success of our team. I don't get the opportunity to watch all these other guys on a consistent basis, so it's not fair for me to make a comparison. But from our team standpoint, he's certainly a Heisman candidate in terms of what he's done to help our team be successful.
Our next question comes from Ryan Hennessy.
Hey, Coach. Ryan Hennessy, WVTM 13 in Birmingham. I was just wondering about the last 24 hours. We saw you last night in Atlanta. I know some other coaches went on the ESPN call, said they didn't sleep last night. What was your 24 hours like? Were you kind of had to sell your team, and now when you found out, what was that feeling like?
Well, there was a lot of concern about, what I felt like our team deserved to be in the playoffs. They earned the right to be there. I was just very anxious and hopeful that they would get the opportunity to do that. So it made a bit of a sleepless night in a lot of ways. So we were trying to prepare for the opportunity if we got it, but also concerned about, what opportunities would have if it didn't work out. But we're excited about the fact that it did, and I know our players are excited about it. And we're going into finals week here in the next couple of weeks, so they got to focus on academics and get ready to play in this game.
Our next question comes from Andrew Kahn.
Hi, Nick. This is Andrew Kahn with the Ann Arbor News. I'm wondering, in what ways is Michigan similar to some of the teams any of the teams you've played this year, and in what ways might they present some unique challenges with what they do?
Well, I haven't had the opportunity to watch them yet, and we don't get to see very many college football games, through the course of the season. But the little that I have seen is they got a great defensive team. I know they're one of the best defensive teams in the country. They do a great job of attacking the ball and getting turnovers. They're very productive on offense. Quarterback's a good player, good runner, great balance. So I haven't been able to see them, and it wouldn't be fair enough to compare them to someone else that we play, but certainly have a tremendous amount of respect for what they've been able to accomplish all year long.
Our next question comes from Daniel Tortora.
Coach, just what you can say about the situation this year, obviously that game against Texas, and then the committee ultimately looking at your season and one loss, theirs as well, and seeing what you did against Georgia most recently, as well as Texas's play against you, just the importance of your team as well as Texas getting in with those matchups being of high value to the committee.
Yeah, well, we won 10 or 11 games in a row and beat the number one team in the country. So we're not the same team that we were when we played Texas earlier in the season. We're kind of in transition at the quarterback position. It was unsettling. I think it affected our team. Although, Texas has a great team, and I think deserves every opportunity in terms of their resume and, getting in the game. So, this is just one of those years where, and there's been other years like this where, somebody that may have been deserving got left out. And Florida State certainly going undefeated was, did everything they could to get in the playoffs. And unfortunately, probably because of the injury of the quarterback, we're not going to have that opportunity.
Our next question comes from Reiner Saban.
Yeah, Nick, how much do you think the 6-1 record that you have in the semifinal round is a result of you figuring out the rhythm of how to prepare for these kind of games? And how much did you learn, following that first loss to Ohio State in the 2014 CFP inaugural year?
Yeah, I think early on, in preparation for these games, when you have this long span of time, we probably practiced too much. And by the time we got to the game, our players were probably mentally and physically maybe not in peak performance. So as we transitioned through the years, we've kind of learned how much you need to practice and how you can psychologically get them in the right place at the right time. But some of the teams that you play in the playoffs, none of them are not going to be really, really good teams. And I think the way you prepare and compete for games like this is, and the psychological disposition you have about how difficult it's going to be is very important to every team. So hopefully our team has the right disposition because they're going to play a great Michigan team.
Our next question comes from Luke Crummich. Luke, are you there?
Sorry about that. A little technical difficulty. Luke Crummich, We Ball Network. I just wanted to ask about Terrion Arnold. He's become kind of the emotional leader of this defense. How do you think that's benefited him on the field, becoming probably one of the top corners in college football?
I think, Terrion is, a very vocal guy. He's got a great personality. He's very well liked by his teammates. He's a hard worker. And he's made a significant amount of improvement. And I think it's showing up in terms of the way he played, this season. And he's made a lot of big plays for us. And hopefully he'll continue to have that right mindset and he's done multiple things for us, played corner, played star. So we've had to move him around some because of injuries, and he's responded well to every challenge that we've given him. And no reason to think he won't continue to do so.
We have time for one more question. Our final question will come from Mike Rodak.
You had mentioned on ESPN earlier today just some of the challenges right now with obviously preparing for the bowl game, but also, roster management with the portal opening. Just what are your expectations as far as that this week? And is there any difference, obviously, making the playoff than not making the playoff as far as the portal goes?
Yeah, well, there's probably a lot of differences. I don't know. I don't think players look at playing in a bowl game with the same significance they look at and playing, in playoffs. So that in and of itself makes it a little bit different. But, I taught our players today in the meeting that, if some of you have issues about transition in terms of your future, you don't have to do it in a vacuum. We're here to help you. Come talk to us about it. And, I'm going to stay in the office tomorrow so that, whether it's guys going out early for the draft, our seniors, leadership group on the team, guys in transition have the opportunity to visit about what they want to do in the future. And we're hopeful that, all of our players will want to stay on our team and contribute to the preparation and success that, we have the opportunity to have playing the best team in the country.
We are also thrilled to be playing in the CFP final at the Rose Bowl game. Thank you.
Perfect. We'll now open up the teleconference for questions. Please raise your hand to ask a question using the raise hand icon within Zoom. If and when your question is selected, we will unmute your microphone. Please state your name and media outlet before asking your question. Once your question has been answered, your microphone will be muted and your hand will be lowered. Our first question will come from Ryan Hennessy.
Hey, Ryan Hennessy, WVTM 13, NBC station in Birmingham. This one's for Coach Harbaugh. Coach, I'm not sure if you've had a chance to look at the journey that Alabama's had so far, but with the quarterback Jalen Milroe, what can you say about him overcoming adversity and the way he's playing right now, especially down the stretch?
Yeah, he's playing at an elite level, and you can see the improvement throughout the season. Just really seems like he hit an inflection point there right before the halfway mark, and also special set of athletic skills, and but as far as like timing, decision making, accuracy, he's playing really well within the system. They've designed some great stuff for him. Yeah, we have a similar quarterback. So we just have noticed the level he's playing at is elite.
Our next question will come from Nick Kelly.
Hi, Nick Kelly with the Tuscaloosa News. Speaking of Milroe, the connection he's had with Isaiah Bond, I realize you haven't watched a ton of film, I'm sure, yet, but what have you seen from afar for the connection those two have had recently and what you guys will have to defend?
Yeah, you're right. I can't talk too much to that connection. Just really what I've seen in some of the games I've watched, but yeah, hate to talk too much into it. Pretend like I know something I really don't. Just really been able to look through the keyhole, and but it really looks good. As I said, I mean the precision in the passing game has been noticeable. The improvement and to where it's at now is at an elite level.
Our next question will come from Max Cohen.
Hey, Coach. Max Cohen from Way 31 in Huntsville. A lot of us saw the reaction of the team when they saw that they were playing Alabama. What can you kind of tell us about maybe who you guys thought you would be playing and what it is about Alabama that maybe your players aren't so excited to face?
No, we're excited to face them. It's iconic. It's Alabama. It's Roll Tide. It's doesn't get any better to be playing in the Rose Bowl. Also, just gonna appreciate the tradition of the Rose Bowl. Playing a great team like Alabama. I mean, it always has meaning, and it was and what we did was special. And not only yesterday, but the entire season, the whole group that we have, and we're thrilled. We're thrilled to be where we're at. We're thrilled to be playing Alabama. Thrilled to be playing in the Rose Bowl because it's going to be competition. That's what this team lives for.
Our next question will come from Rainer Saban.
Hi, Jim. Rainer Saban with the Detroit Free Press. I wanted to ask you just about the Beat Georgia drill. How much do you think that is applicable to Alabama? How much do you feel like you guys are prepared to face a team with this kind of defense and front seven?
Yeah, it's really the last maybe 5 weeks, at least even the last 4. I think we played some of the top defense in the country in Penn State, Iowa, Ohio State, all top 5 defenses, and Alabama's is as good as all them or better. So yeah, be a big challenge, big task.
Our next question will come from Charlie Papalardo.
Hi, Jim. Charlie Papalardo from the Michigan Daily. I'd be interested now, you got a month to prepare for Alabama. How much does having that extra 3 weeks help you with preparation than just going week in, prepping that quickly?
I think the most beneficial part is getting healthy and getting the team back, fresh, and healthy and ready to roll.
Our next question will come from Nick Alvarez.
Hi, Jim. Nick Alvarez with Alabama Media Group. I know you met Alabama a couple years ago in the Citrus Bowl. I know you've known Nick Saban for a long time. I was just wondering if you could talk about your relationship with him and how that's grown, and getting a chance to meet him, like you said, in a game with the stature of the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, the kind of stuff you hope for, you plan for, you work for, and to be in that position, nothing but the highest respect for Coach Saban. He's always treated us with respect, and going back to when I first met him. First time I met him was when Michigan State was playing in the final. I think it was, Michigan State or Marquette at a Final Four in New Orleans. I think it was Marquette when Tom Crean was coaching there, and he was at the game. We had a chance to have a conversation. Also, a couple of the Heisman Trophy awards ceremonies when our players have been invited, whether it was at Stanford or Michigan. Super interesting to talk to, and we're going against the best. Tradition is true blue bloods of football, facing Alabama.
We have time for one more question. It'll come from Henry Sklar.
Hey, Coach Harbaugh, Henry Sklar here of the Crimson White. With it being the last year of the traditional Big Ten and, the last year of the 14 playoff era, can you just talk a little bit more about what it means for you guys to be the Big Ten representative going to the Rose Bowl as the #1 overall seed?
Yeah, just as you would expect, just a great thrill of victory, wonderful, wonderful feeling of winning. It's what we dreamed about, what we hoped for, what we worked for, what our guys prepared for, and in position, get in position, put yourself in position to be in position to win it all. So we've accomplished many of our goals, and now winning it all is what we'd also put on the goal sheet. So that's what we'll turn our one-track mind to this next opponent and playing Alabama in the Final Four, and we'll do what we always do. We'll plan, we'll prepare, we'll practice, and get ready to give it our very best.
Thank you, Coach Harbaugh. You are now welcome to leave the call. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.